Doc, over down the stretch, you guys had some opportunities. Blake had the shot that Timmy blocked. Missed free throws. Kind of what stood out to you in that final minute?
I don't know, man. A lot of things stood out the whole game. I thought our guys played hard tonight. Did make some shots. I thought there were stretches we could have moved the ball better. But when you look at the score, when you go 1 for 14 from the three and you still score 107 points, that means you did a lot of good things too. Guys, I don't complain much. I thought we got some really tough calls tonight, some brutal calls. The travel on Blake, the goaltend on Matt, which wasn't a goaltend. You think about the playoffs and their single possession games. Those possessions, those were crucial. JJ's, the foul that got them the basket, got them up. JJ didn't touch anyone, and so it's not why we lost, but those were big plays for us.
You just touched on it, but during the course of the game, I mean, how much did that take you out of the game?
I don't know. It's just, listen, the refs are trying hard to. But God darn, even CP's Tech, I still don't have the explanation for that, and I want to find that out because when they make a shot, you have to throw it to the ref to get the ball back, and he got a tech for it. So I'm just not sure some things, and I got a team in there that played their heart out, and they're frustrated a little bit. They're frustrated at themselves because at the end of the day, it's always our fault, but they're frustrated at other stuff too. And in a game like that with that magnitude, there should be no frustration that way at all.
Hey Doc, what was your perspective specifically on the offensive interference call?
I thought it was the right call. I couldn't tell, and I didn't see it. I couldn't see the video, so I don't know. But I thought it was the right call. I hope to God it was the right call. You have people in Newark looking at it, so you're hoping that somebody saw it. You got to put your trust in them. What did you guys think? I thought it was the right call. I don't know.
Not only a physically exhausting game, but a mentally exhausting game. You said that your team is emotional. You said they're frustrated. What do you tell them after a game like this?
They get the loose balls, make more plays, and put it on us. Listen, I'm sure there were calls both ways, at the end of the day. So you just have to make more plays in a game like this. One thing I will say, I thought the Spurs did all night. Every time there was a loose ball, they got it. And in a game like this, we have to get that. I think, you're going in this series, we're the team with the speed. A loose ball is a fumble, and the team with the speed should get it. And I thought they got all of them. I thought every loose ball, every big play they made. Other than that, it was an evenly played game. It really was.
Talk more about the bench. You used 3 guys off the bench. They used 6, and you get outscored 48-17. So looking ahead, how do you deal with that kind of a thing?
You used 3 guys again. It got us to 2-2. It got us to a final play today. So we scored 107 points. So what do you want me to do? You know what I mean? Like it was the game the game on the floor. It's a 1-point game at the end of the game. That's what you want. They use their bench, but at the end of the day, when you look at it, tonight, one guy played 25 minutes for them. Everybody else was at 10 and 11 minutes. So just because they were in the game, it's like the other night, Bellinelli played 1 minute, and I read how they played their bench. So, give me a break. I thought our bench didn't shoot the ball well tonight, I'll say that. But I thought overall they played pretty hard. But it's the easy thing. It's the bench. You know what I mean?
Fourth quarter, I think Blake made 1 of 9 shots and a couple free throws. Very uncharacteristic. How much of that do you think was fatigue and just wearing down?
I don't know. It could have. Hell if I know. I'll go ask the doctor and try to find out. But I'm sure fatigue was a factor in this game both ways. Duncan played 38 minutes. They played 41 minutes. So, I'm sure fatigue had a factor for both teams. But that could have been a factor. I don't know the answer, Dan. Or Ben, I'll find out.
Doc, talk about the way Duncan played on both ends.
Yeah, he was good. He was good. I thought not only just offensively, I thought he was really good defensively. I thought he made a lot of big plays, the block at the end, and then the strip as well. I thought that was a lot of contact personally. If we're going to not call that and then call the phantom call down on the other end, I just think. But the first block was clean. I thought he was terrific. He's Tim Duncan.
What about his defense on Blake?
Yeah, he was good. Like I thought one of the moves Pop made that we, in the fourth quarter, he put Duncan on Blake. Really, I would say middle third, right before we took him out, and Duncan did the job. He did a terrific job. Give him credit.
Rob, you talked about your team being frustrated, but you also starting to get frustrated. Do you have to gather yourself and collect yourself since you're the leader to get these guys back?
No, we'll be ready.
Okay, but just for you as well.
No,
you're the first one to have to.
I'll be frustrated all night. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. If you want to take me to dinner and make me feel better, I'm good with that. But no, but it's nothing wrong with frustration. I have no problem with guys being frustrated. You have 48 hours or whatever to get over it, and we will.
Dan?
Doc, are there things you can draw? You guys had a really frustrating Game 5 last year as well and had to go play an elimination game.
Yeah.
Are there things you can draw from that, do you think, as a group, and going to play this game now in San Antonio?
Well, I don't know the answer. I'm assuming yes. We've been in this situation before. It's reversed. Now we're going on the road, which makes it a lot harder. But I don't know the answer. But I'm assuming every experience you go through, Dan, has to make you better, stronger, more mentally tough. So I'm hoping.
Do you remember any of the specific emotional challenges that the team faced last year coming into?
Yeah, that was a little different. That was a tough one last year. This was tough too. But last year was more self-inflicted. Tonight you played again, and I'm going to keep saying it, there is no momentum in this series. The two teams have been they've been evenly matched, and it keeps coming down to that was the first one down, the second game down the buzzer, and they've won two close ones in our building. So that would be the most frustrating thing for me. But we'll figure that out too.
Doc, I know it's a long game, so I don't want to make too big of a deal out of the first quarter, but you guys are 27-13, you guys look great. Then all of a sudden they go on a 15-0 run. What do you take from that when that happens?
There's runs in games. When we're up 14, I was hoping we'd stay up that month, but it's the NBA. Yeah, I don't put a lot of stock into that. I did think their zone hurt us for a stretch, though. I will say that.
You're 5 games in, each team's won on each other's floor. Do you reach a point in the series where there aren't a whole lot of changes to be made or whatever? You just kind of go.
Yeah, I think we've been at that point for a while. I really do. When you look at it, watching the game, you look at us, we're 1 for 14 from the 3-point line. Yet I don't know if they changed their defense much. And we did have some really good looks. They didn't go in, but once they started not going in, it seemed to snowball for us. If you want to look at the difference in the game, it's the 3-point line tonight. It's been the 3-point line in the series when you really want to get down to it. And obviously we need to make some, and we got to do a better job of getting guys open.
Doc, Matt Barnes kind of struggled in the series offensively. Is that somewhat concerning to you? And if so, what do you tell them to kind of get him back in rhythm and where
Just keep playing. There's nothing I can tell you. He's guarding a really tough guy in Kawhi, and it takes a lot out of him. So, sometimes that happens. And we stay with him. He's been with us all year.
Last question.
Doc, can you talk about the balancing act dealing with DJ, pulling him in, get him out, so forth?
It wasn't that bad tonight, honestly, the times they did it, we were about to sub one of the bigs anyway, so it wasn't that hard to sub him out at that time. Down the stretch, they didn't do it, so listen, we knew all year that this was going to be a factor, so we just deal with it, game-to-game basis. You can make the case that in Game 4, it changed the game in our favor, so it's going to happen Friday, I guarantee you, and I'm going to have to make a decision again. It's just part of the rules, and I don't think there's anything wrong with the rules. I think they'll change them, but right now they're part of the rules. You have to live with them. Thanks, guys.